What's up, guys, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. Before we get into questions real fast, I wanted to announce that we're doing something cool on Patreon. For a while now, I've wanted to do audio commentaries on all the films, and Molly and I just recorded our very first one. We started with Rogue One because it's the one that came out the most recently, but we are going to work our way through all of the films, and they're going to come out as we hit our Patreon goals. So we're going to do, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, the Han Solo movie, and the new movies as they come out, and we'll probably even do the holiday special at some point, but we're looking into the best way to make those available for people to purchase that don't want to be constant patrons, but they're always going to come out on Patreon first, so make sure you click on the link in the description to go check those out. Also, stay to the end of this video to see who won the LEGO Snowspeeder giveaway, and we're going to have another giveaway, so just make sure to stay tuned for all of that. But first, let's answer some questions. Laszlo Buggy asks if there's a canon explanation for how the Jedi Temple Guard got their yellow lightsabers, or how Ahsoka got her yellow-green one. I actually had this exact question last year, and I asked Pablo Hidalgo, and I was lucky enough to get an answer back. It sounds like there's no other explanation for the color other than a Jedi's original bond with the crystal. So Ahsoka just made a yellowish-green blade, and very rarely will a Jedi make a pure yellow bond. Pablo says that those crystals are then just set aside for temple guards. So then I asked if they were taken away from younglings right away because of their rarity, but he didn't respond to that one. I imagine that anyone that makes a yellow bond would get to keep their lightsaber, and then after their death or retirement or whatever, their lightsabers were then taken and the crystals were given to the Jedi Temple Guard for future use. John Mitchell wants to know how I think the Chiss Ascendancy will be used in future stories, because you are right, they definitely set us up for a return there in the Thrawn novel. I would love to see some blue-skinned, red-eyed aliens join the fight with the Resistance. They've been making a big deal out of the unknown regions in the new canon and whatever threats are lurking out there. In Legends, that was the Yuuzhan Vong, and the Chiss were preparing for them. I think that threat is, instead of the Vong, going to be Supreme Leader Snoke and maybe something else along, related to him. So whatever he's doing and bringing is going to be a threat to their territory, and they're going to want to protect that. So I think it would be very cool and would make a lot of sense if they kind of joined up with the Resistance. If that doesn't happen in the movies, I am positive we're going to see them again, be it in a book or a comic or something. Brian Gomez asks when Kleeg Lars died and if Luke ever knew his step-grandfather. According to Ultimate Star Wars, Kleeg died very shortly after Shmi Skywalker did in Attack of the Clones, so no, Luke never knew Kleeg. Now I'm going to be answering two questions from the most recent comic issue, Star Wars The Screaming Citadel. I'm not going to be talking super major spoilers, but if you haven't read it yet and you don't want to know anything at all, just skip to the timecode I put up. Matthew Lewick wants to know if the Queen of the Screaming Citadel is some sort of Force vampire. Actually, what it reminded me of was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the episode where the gentlemen come in and steal everyone's voices. But yeah, I do think you're kind of on the money. I think that based on what she said about needing to feed and kind of her personality, as in she only comes out once a year and she's very intrigued by interesting people and usually she's very bored. It just seems like she's been around for a long time. And yeah, vampire, I don't know if that's the correct term, but she definitely seems to feed off the life force or force energy of other beings. And I'm very, very interested to see where this goes. And vampires aren't unheard of. Again, I'm saying vampires, but just people that feed off of the life force or essence of others. They were a thing in Star Wars Legends as well. So this is just something really cool. It's one of the best things about Star Wars is that every new planet is a chance to explore some new idea. And I like it when they take things from our Earth mythology or fiction and they put a Star Wars twist on it. So I think that the whole Screaming Citadel thing, I really enjoyed the first issue, and I'm so excited to see where it goes next. Nate Irish wants to know if Dr. Aphra is going to replace Mara Jade in the new canon. I hadn't considered that, and I actually think you make an interesting point because there are parallels between the two characters. Now, I don't think that Dr. Aphra wants to kill Luke, but she did at one point work for the Empire and actively work to capture Luke. Mara Jade used to work for the Empire, and she actively worked to kill Luke. I mean, that's close enough, I think. After they stopped working for the Empire, they both were forced to work with Luke. And Dr. Aphra and Luke's dynamic did remind me, as you suggested, it reminded me a lot of Mara Jade and Luke in Heir to the Empire, but I don't think that the story is going to continue in like a romantic direction because Dr. Aphra has been pretty much confirmed to be gay in her own comic and even the Star Wars line. Lots of hints, and I think they pretty much outright said it in issue 6 of Dr. Aphra. So I don't think that she will be replacing Mara Jade, and honestly, I don't think anyone could replace Mara Jade. That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't see your question answered here, just head over to Patreon where I left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you some access to extra Star Wars Explained goodies like those audio commentaries I mentioned, and monthly giveaways, and the combined donations really go a long way in helping support the channel. On to YouTube questions. Sturfelt asks if I think Barris Offee should have been the 7th sister in Star Wars Rebels. I do think that would have been a good idea. I mean, they were the same species even, and it would have provided a lot of closure for her storyline, especially considering the number of confrontations that the 7th sister had with Ahsoka. But Dave Filoni has insisted on multiple occasions that Barris's story is not over, so I think he might have some different plans for her. I just find it odd that the 7th sister resembled Barris so much, and yet it wasn't her. Liam O wants to know what character I would like to see get a 5-issue comic arc. I may have mentioned this before, but something a little bit different that I would like to see is 5 different stories about Jedi after Order 66. So let's take 5 survivors, and each issue tells the story of what happened to them after the fall of the Republic, and like maybe they're being hunted by Darth Vader. Now, I do think that the new Darth Vader comic is probably going to explore that a little bit, but I just think that would be something cool and a little different to do, where we have a 5-issue series that is more centered around a theme instead of a specific character. Screen Ninja asks what special edition change to the original trilogy I don't mind. I think the one that bothers me the least, and honestly, a lot of them don't really bother me that much, but the one that I think makes a lot of sense is what they did to Cloud City, where they made it feel much more open, like more windows, more sky, more clouds. That makes a whole lot of sense to me, and it looks good, and I enjoy it. Rebel Brick Productions wants to know what happened to the lightsabers of fallen Jedi after Order 66. Some of them wound up in the black market and in the hands of criminals like Gracchus the Hutt. I bet a lot of them were just gathered up and destroyed, and then a handful of them were dismantled and their crystals were given to the Inquisitors to be bled and put into their lightsabers. Victor Schlatt wants to know my opinion on Ewoks. Ewoks don't really bother me. I mean, I was a kid when I first saw Return of the Jedi. I thought they were cute and fun. Now that I've grown up, I do wish that they had stuck with the original plan and they would have had Wookiees pop up in that fight instead. I think that would have been a lot cooler. It would have made us feel a little more connected because of Chewbacca, and it would have been cool to see like a slave uprising. I think that would have been a little more emotional, but I certainly don't hate Ewoks, especially not the way that some people do. That's all the time I have for questions today. If you want to leave me a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments of this video or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion. Before I go, I need to mention the winner of the LEGO Snowspeeder giveaway is Brandon Smart, so congratulations. I've already sent you an email to get your shipping information, and I just want to thank everyone for entering and thank everyone for supporting the channel. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and announce that we are doing another giveaway right away. Box Lunch Gifts was nice enough to send us some Star Wars Celebration exclusive items, so one winner will get a Hoth Leia Funko Pop and these Greedo Hikari minis. The link to enter is in the description, and I'll announce the winner in next week's Q&A. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and go check out our brand new vlog channel. Well, not brand new, we just uploaded our 4th video, but we've been having a lot of fun kind of getting a little more personal and showing you behind the scenes of our lives. Molly's been doing a great job. She's been handling all of that and editing all the videos, and I've been so impressed and proud of it. So please go give that a watch if you are interested. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.